Hey everybody, it's Mr. Mott. I'm going to go through the Penny Lab pre-lab for you. It's going to let you know some tips that you want to follow when you're doing the Penny Lab, alright? So when you guys go out to lab, one thing that we're going to have ready for you is going to be like the beaker we see on the right. It's going to have some granular zinc on the bottom, just enough to cover the bottom. This should be enough. And then the liquid that we're going to have in there for you is a sodium hydroxide solution. That's a strong base. It's one of the main ingredients in drain cleaner, so just kind of let you know that it's something that you don't want to get on your skin or anything like that. If you do, it's going to feel soapy. It's going to feel slippery. And so that's how you're going to know, and you're just going to rinse it off and under some water for about a minute. You should be fine. There's also going to be a watch glass that you're going to want to either put on there or it'll be at your station. Then there's going to be an empty beaker, and you want to fill this beaker up with water. Okay. This is going to be our rinse beaker and also kind of our cooling down beaker. That can just be tap water. Okay. So first, what you can do, you can get a couple clean pennies, just so there's not any kind of dirt or anything stuck to them. Doesn't matter if they're old or new pennies. We're going to want to remove the watch glass. Okay, I would do this with your crucible tongs because this is going to be maybe covered with a little bit of sodium hydroxide residue. Okay, so set that down on the lab table. Then you're going to grab a couple pennies. Now, at this point, you can use your hands or you can use the crucible tongs if you want. What you want to do, so I got my penny here, what you want to do is you want to gently place this into your beaker, and you want to do so that the penny lays flat on the zinc. Okay, so I could drop it in like this. Okay, if I need to adjust, I can put my crucible tongs in there and kind of adjust where it landed. And then where I put another one in there, and you're going to want to put as many as you can in here, but making sure they don't overlap. Okay, so I set that in there. That's just fine. Got my other one in there. Since my crucible tongs are now covered with the sodium hydroxide, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to kind of rinse them off just like that. Should be fine now. Okay. Watch glass goes back on, and we're going to slowly heat this up. We might be heating this up on a Bunsen burner. We'll do as a hot plate for this step. So you'll turn your hot plate up maybe about halfway or so, and we're going to slowly heat this up. And what we're looking for is a color change on the pennies. Okay, so you want to see a color change. You want to make sure that the color change is nice and uniform on the pennies. And once you have that nice color change, I typically actually like to say, once you see the color change on the penny, you can continue heating it for maybe about another 30 seconds to a minute more, just so you have a nice, good, solid color change. During this time, you want to make sure that you're watching your liquid, the sodium hydroxide in there. You want to make sure that it doesn't boil. Okay, if it starts to boil, you just turn down the hot plate and you step back. The watch glass is going to help any kind of bubbles and things like that from bubbling out. And you also don't want to be breathing any of these fumes. Okay, remember, we're heating up, in essence, drain cleaner. Okay. Once we have a nice color change, okay, so they'll change from the regular copper color that a penny is. What you'll do is you'll take these out, okay. Now again, what are they covered in? They're covered in drain cleaner, okay. So we're going to rinse this off, okay, and we can set it down on our lab table, okay. Alright, so we'll take that out. Again, we're going to rinse that out, okay. And we set it down nice and clean. We can put it right on the lab table. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is with one of the pennies, so you're going to have a nice color change there, and I'm not going to spoil the surprise about what it's going to look like. Okay. I'm going to move this over, and I think the next step, you can do this on a Bunsen burner, or you can do this on a hot plate as well, but I like to use the Bunsen burner for this step actually. And what you'll do is you'll take your penny and you'll hold this in the Bunsen burner, okay? And let me see if I can move this back a little bit. There we go. And so what you'll do is you'll have your penny in the flame. Okay, let me turn this to the side a little bit so we can see a little bit better. you'll have this in the flame, and you'll be heating it up, and you want to heat it enough so you see a nice color change on both sides, but you don't want to heat it too much, okay? If you heat up too much, it'll actually melt, okay? Now, even though this penny is not going to be glowing red, it is very, very hot, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to cool it down in the same rinse beaker that you had before. You're going to put it in here, and it's going to